Hello, students. Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Varun. Good afternoon, Saili. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So, actually, it was giving some net was giving some problem in connecting the meeting, so it got late. So, we'll just start today with note number 8. So, shall we start with the note number 8? Okay. So, in the note number 8, today we will just study how to compute the tax liability, payment of tax, and if there is any liability, there are due dates defined by the government under the law that by so and so date the liability should be deposited, that we are going to study in detail. And if any excess amount has been deposited by the registered dealer, then there are provisions of refunds also under the GST law. So starting with how to compute the liability and how the tax is deposited through the GST portal, we will study in the first part of this note. Hope you are able to see the notes today. Yes, great. So now the first part, as we all know that there are three heads under which the GST liability is computed or a registered dealer is liable to pay the tax. Whenever there is an intrastate transaction, what are the two heads of GST that are affected? The two heads are, one is CGST and another is SGST. Say suppose there are GST rates, four GST rates are 5%, 12%, 18% or 28%. So whenever there is an intra-sales happens, so GST charge will be 50-50% allocation. 50% goes to the CGST and 50% goes to the IGST. Say suppose there is an invoice of, say for example, 100 rupees. Now, it is an intrastate sales and 18% GST is applicable on that particular product. So, what is the total GST liability? What it is? On 100 rupees at the rate of 18%, the liability is 18? Yes. So, 9 rupees goes to the CGST and 9 will go to the SGST. Now, the registered dealer who is collecting this tax from the customer is liable to pay it to the government, because that registered dealer under the law is liable to collect the tax on the specific product they are selling and deposit it to the government. So 50% go to the CGST and 50% goes to the SGST. But in case when there is an interstate sales, considering the same example, 100 rupees, 18% GST, the amount of tax is 18% and the entire 18 rupees goes to the IGST. Now, a registered person, he is dealing into intra also as well as interstate sales also. So he is liable to pay liability under all the three heads like IGST, SGST and CGST. So, in a given period, or you can say in the return period, which is normally a month, what all outward supplies has been made by a registered dealers and what all tax has been collected by that registered dealers under three heads, he is liable to pay that to the government. So that is why, as stated in the notes, that tax is to be paid is mainly divided into three heads: IGST, CGST and SGST. Now, a registered person is required to make GST payments. Now to whom? Means a registered dealer is required to make GST payment if GST liability exists. Definitely, these are the 4 points, like they are trying to explain the scenarios under which the liability is there. Say suppose if a dealer has not made any sales during the period, so there will not be any liability either toward any of the three heads: IGST, CGST or SGST. So a registered person is only liable when there is a liability in the books of that registered dealer. Second is, registered dealer is required to pay under RCM. Whenever registered dealer is dealing with the unregistered dealer, then the registered dealer is liable to pay the tax on behalf of the unregistered person. So they are raising the tax invoice that we have studied in the earlier note, and they are liable to make the payment on that the transactions under reverse charge mechanism. Then it is the e-commerce operators that is required to collect and pay the TCS. So you must have studied about the e-commerce operators and what point their liability arises. They simply collect it because they are like, what what is the good example of e-commerce operators? Please advise on this. Any e-commerce operator? Any e-commerce operator? Yes, Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, and now Tata Click is there, Ola, Uber. Yes. So what they are doing, how this model works? They are displaying the product on their portals. A user comes, end user approaches the app or visits their website, select the product, place the order. Flipkart or Amazon, they further passes on this order to the supplier, and supplier delivers the product directly to the consumer. So who has been paying the GST? It is the end user who has paid the GST. And to whom? To the supplier. So Amazon in between, they are collecting the tax and pays TCS on that. Then is the dealers required deducting TDS. The dealers who are deducting the TDS also, like the rent transaction. There is a GST on rent, whereas under income tax there is TDS on rent also. So the dealers who are liable to deduct TDS are liable to pay the GST under GST Act. So the amount of tax, interest, penalty, etc. payable by the person is required to be paid either by utilizing balance available in the electronic cash ledgers or electronic credit ledgers. Now, what is the understanding of electronic cash ledgers and electronic credit ledgers? Hope you must have studied in your earlier notes about the electronic cash ledgers and electronic credit ledgers. So, what all liability is there? As we have studied under the GST law, that what all tax has been paid by a registered dealer on the purchases, he is liable to take the input tax credit of that tax against the outward GST liability. He is liable to pay to the government. Say suppose he has made an outward supply of rupees 100, eligible tax rate is 18%. So he will collect 118. He is going to sell this to end user. He is collecting 118 rupees on that. For that same product, he must have purchased some material also. On that, this registered dealer, say suppose, has paid rupees 9 as an input, as a tax on purchases. So he is liable to pay. What is the net liability for this registered dealer in this case? Is 18 is the outward liability minus 9. That is, the registered dealer can claim the tax paid on purchases as input tax credit, that is rupees 9, and ultimately the registered dealer is liable to pay rupees 9 only, because this is what GST has been introduced to nullify the cascading effect of the transactions, that there should not be tax on tax. So that is why what all tax has been paid at the time of purchases, already that registered dealer has given that money to the supplier of those goods. So already he has borne the liability of 9 rupees. So government says what all tax you have paid on the purchases, you claim the ITC of that, and whatever the balance remains, you pay it to the government, because now they are selling the product to the end user. So this electronic cash ledger and electronic credit ledgers, they are the electronic ledgers available on the GSTN portal, reflecting the liability and the ITC, input tax credit, available to the registered dealer. So here it is given that first registered dealer is going to utilize the ITC, and then whatever is the balance, that is payable in terms of cash. So when we talk about the electronic cash ledger, it means whatever is the liability, it is given in the cash ledger. When we make the online payment, the cash is reflected in the this against this cash ledger, the liability, and it gets set off against the liability reflected in the electronic cash ledgers. So similarly, electronic credit ledger gives the details of the input tax credit available to the registered dealer. So as we study, this entire payment of tax, interest, penalty and other amount is governed by Section 49 of the CGST Act 2017, where it states it is covering payment in any mode, payment by debit card, credit card, or using NEFT, RTGS, or any other means of payment, but how it should be credited to the electronic cash ledger of such person to be maintained in such manner as may be prescribed. So that cash, whatever it is paid and is reflected in this, it can be utilized towards the payment of the tax, interest or penalty. Under GST, if there is any delay in the payment of the liability, the interest is being charged by the government under this law, under this act, and that penalty is not eligible to get settled off by the ITC. Penalty is always paid in cash by the registered dealer. So now again, the note is defining that what amount is credited in the stated ledgers and how that amount is being utilized. Yes, the amount credited under the electronic cash ledger is towards tax, interest, penalty or fee for any other. If there is any demand, then that also is credited to the electronic cash ledger, and what all cash is credited, it is being utilized towards the payment of the tax, interest, penalty or fees for or any other amount that is liable to be paid under GST Act. Then it is again in the tabular form, they have just depicted what they have just mentioned uh, just above this table. So in the electronic mode, again they have just stated that input tax credit as self-assessed in the return of a registered person, because any registered dealer, what all purchases they are making in a given period, in the books of accounts they are entering the purchase vouchers and what all ITC is available. Hope you are clear with the accounting entries. So input receivable will always, input GST receivable will always have a debit balance, and outward liability will always have a credit balance. So when we are liable to make the payment, so we set off the ITC. So the entry passed is output GST debit to GST receivable. This is how. So the input tax credit as self-assessed. So when we are making these entries into the system, when we are making the entries of the purchase, so what all GST receivable ledgers are there in the books? That is the self-assessed ITC available with the registered dealer. So based on the purchases, based on the entry made in the system, they can claim the deduction of that ITC. So the input tax credit as self-assessed in the return of a registered person shall be credited to this electronic credit ledgers, because see, this is the connected system. The This is a chain. Actually, see, there are four people in this chain, in the supply chain. Mr. A, B, C, D. A is supplying the material to B, B is supplying material to C, and C is supplying to D. So when A makes sales to B, B is using that material in the course of furtherance of the business. So B is procuring the material, paying the ITC on that. Then B will process it and sell it to C. So B is collecting the tax. At the same time they are uh, procuring the material. So when B computes its liability, before that, by the end of the 10th of the subsequent month, A is supposed to upload on the portal all the supplies made to B or to any other person. So in the GST portal itself, what all input credit is available to B is reflected. That is what it is stated over here, that the input tax credit as self-assessed in the return of a registered portal shall be credited to his credit ledger in accordance with section 41 to be maintained in such manner as may be prescribed. One thing is that the thing information is available on the GST portal. So as soon as A uploads its report, B will get what all ITC is available to him, and B is maintaining his books of accounts so that they can just reconcile also, and they can just self-assess, yes, this is the final amount of ITC they can claim against the outward liability. Okay, and it is again utilized, this input credit, the balance available in electronic credit ledger is utilized as defined under subsection 4 of 49 towards making payment of output tax under this act or under the integrated goods and service tax. That means the ITC, again, if we are liable to make the liability under three heads, IGST, CGST and SGST, similarly the ITC is also available under three heads, because you are procuring, you are purchasing, it can be interstate or it can be intrastate. So ITC is available under three heads, IGST, CGST and SGST. So accordingly this IT can be utilized. Later in this note we are going to study the rules how this ITC available under three heads can be utilized against the outward liability available under three heads. There are certain rules defined under the law. Now electronic liability ledger. This ledger states all liabilities of a taxable person under this act shall be recorded and maintained in the electronic liability register in such manner as may be prescribed. So, as and when the liability return is filed, the GSTR 1 is filed, the liability is reflected in the portal also, as well as in your books of accounts, because you are passing entries, making an entry of every outward supply and inward supply. So now there there are rules of setting of this ITC against the outward liability. Hope it is clear till now. I'm just moving further. Now we have just assessed, yes, like how this liability is worked out. Now we will study how the ITC can be set off against the outward liability. Now there are two set of rules. One was the amendment which came in 1st April 2019, that how the in ITC can be utilized. There is a slight change in the utilization rules. So we have to go through both the set of rules, because GST came into, like, it got implemented as on 1st July 2017. So from 1st July 2017 till 31st March 2019, there is a set of rule. If you are dealing with those set of books, then the earlier rules will be applicable, and if you are dealing with the transactions after 1st April 2019, then the amended rules of setting of ITC will be applicable. So please don't get confused. There is not much change, but just focus on how it can be utilized. So now these rules are defined under subsection 5 of section 49 of the CGST Act, where it states that, see, this is the table. There is input available of IGST, input available against CGST, SGST and UTGST. Now, what is the offset option available? IGST input can be set it off against the IGST output liability. Okay, it can be set it off against the CGST output liability, SGST and UTGST. Okay, now order of setting off. Order of setting off was this only. First it should be set it off against IGST, then CGST, then SGST, or if remain with the UGST. And normally SGST and UGST comes at the same. Uh, like either it will be SGST or it will be UTGST. Sorry, students, I don't know how it has happened. Okay, so similarly, CGST, the check is, hope I'm audible? Okay, so thank you for confirming, Siley. Now, the check is that CGST input cannot be utilized for setting off SGST or UTGST. Similarly, SGST or UTGST ITC is not available to be set it off against the CGST liability, or you can say UTGST, or if we are dealing with the UTGST input, it is not available to be set it off against CGST or SGST. So UTGST can be set it off. First preference is UTGST liability, and then it is IGST. SGST, first it can be set it off against the output liability against SGST. Then if any input is available under SGST, then it is liable, it can be set it off against IGST liability. Clear? So there are few examples given in this note. We will just see how this has been utilized. Hope the first set is clear. That means, is it clear? Please others also confirm. Okay, thank you. I can move ahead. Table itself is a very clear depiction. Now, in the earlier, how they have said is that, I'm just reading these two broad lines, the first one and the second one. Provided that the input tax credit on account of state tax shall be utilized towards the payment of integrated tax only, whereas the balance of the input tax credit on account of central tax is not available for the payment of integrated tax. So what they are stating is, if there is any ITC is available for under SGST, that can be utilized for making the payment or liability under IGST. But if there is any input available under CGST, from that input cannot be set it off against any liability under IGST. That set off is not available in the earlier rules. Similar is the case in the Union Territory. UTGST, ITC under UTGST is available to set off the IGST liability, whereas the input credit on account of central tax is not available to make the payment under IGST. Clear? Is this clear? Okay, thanks Varun. Okay, so now one amendment has been raised given under this, that provided that the input tax credit on account of Union Territory tax shall be utilized towards payment of integrated tax only when the balance of the input tax credit on account of central tax is not available for payment of the integrated tax. Actually, later in 2000, there are certain changes has been made. Now they have stated that the ITC available under UTGST can only be utilized once the ITC under the central tax is not available for payment against the IGST. Actually, under this amendment, normally the input tax credit available under the CGST Act can be utilized under the tax liability under the IGST. It is only like in this amendment, CGST Amendment Act 2018, they have just claimed that any ITC available under the UTGST Act can be utilized only after when there is no ITC available under the CGST Act. So the central tax shall not be utilized towards payment of the state tax or union territory tax. Similarly, the state or union territory tax shall not be utilized towards payment of the central tax. Now, we will just go through the set of the new rules that has been introduced with effect from 1st February 2019, read with 88A of CGST rules. Now, what they are saying, is, see, actually they came into effect as on 1st February, but became applicable. There are two dates given. The notification has been again with effect from 1/4/2019. These rules have been become applicable. It was initially initiated on 1st February 2019, then confirmed on 1st April 2019. So from 1st April 2019, these rules will be applicable. So now the thing is, what should be the order of utilization of the input tax credit? So now input tax credit on account of integrated tax shall first be utilized towards payment of integrated tax, and the amount remaining, if any, may be utilized towards payment of central tax, state tax and union territory tax. Now in the new rule, an order has been given. Can explain the amendment regarding IGST set of order. Can explain the amendment regarding, sorry Sahili, I could not get, who can explain? I am explaining the new set of rules. What exactly is your query? And in the new, okay, now I am explaining in the new set of rules, the ITC available under IGST is to be first utilized. It can be utilized against, first it should be utilized against the liability under IGST, and then it is up to the option of assessee, that the registered dealer, they can use the remaining ITC against CGST liability or SGST liability or UTGST liability. Earlier there was an order that whatever it is remaining, first it should be utilized again under CGST, but later on option has been given to the assessee that first the ITC liability should be settled off with the ITC input IGST. Rest, if there is any input IGST, then it can be utilized against any of this CGST, SGST or UTGST. There is no order for utilization of the ITC against these three. Is it clear, Sahili? Okay, thank you. And this is what it is written over here. I'm just going through the comments. The same it is written as I explained. So comments, as per section 49, ITC can be utilized in a particular series, and 49A provides that the credit of CGST, SGST, UTGST can be utilized only after IGST ITC has been utilized fully. This is what I have explained, and therefore combined reading of section 49 and 49A IGST shall be utilized in a given series only. Now they are telling a given series. That is what in the note below it was written that first IGST, then it was CGST. But later this order was relaxed and ITC remaining ITC under IGST can be utilized in any order by the registered dealer. So the table, we'll just see the table which is in a very brief manner describing the rules. That is inward supply, ITC of CGST, SGST and IGST. If, if there is any liability against the outward supplies under CGST, SGST and IGST, how it is will be utilized. So ITC of CGST is allowable to be settled off against CGST and IGST. Now it is clear that ITC of CGST is allowed to be settled off against the outward liability of IGST. Okay. ITC of SGST is CGST and SGST cross is never allowed. So to set off SGST outward liability and IGST. The order is given. First SGST, next is IGST. Then IGST is allowed to be settled off for all the three categories of outward liability. So first, so with effect from C in the upper row, it is written first SGST, then IGST. Actually, from 1st April 2019, it is the IGST ITC that has to be completely settled off against uh, all the liabilities. Then the ITC of the SGT or CGST should be utilized to settle. Okay. Hope it is clear. Okay, Varun. Thanks for confirming. So now we will just go through the rules, few examples, with the help of which we will understand how the tax liability is computed, why we are considering that liability as CGST, SGST or IGST, and how the setting of rules are being applied. So in the given example 1 I am taking of the note. Mrs. X Limited being a registered person supplied taxable goods in the following manner. So they are supplying the goods. Supplying can be inward supply and outward supplying. Supplying always doesn't mean the outward supply. So first two rows is where Mr. X has made an outward supply. Then next two rows is intrastate supply purchases and interstate purchases. There is an ITC at the beginning of the relevant tax period. Against CGST, there is an opening ITC of 1,30,000, SGST again opening balance of 1,30,000, IGST opening balance of 1,70,000. Now there are certain notes. Presuming assumptions are given that assume rate of CGST, SGST, IGST to be 9, 18% respectively. Inward and outward supplies are exclusive of taxes. What is the understanding of point number B? What is the understanding? Yes, yes, Varun. That amount given above is exclusive of tax. That means we have to apply the rate of tax on the above figures. All the conditions necessary for availing the input tax credit have been fulfilled. Means in the question they have given, you are go ahead to utilize the ITC. All the conditions are met by the X Limited. So in exam also we have to prepare the table like this only. If there is any question, it's a very clear depiction, easy to understand and explain. What you will do, first of all, take what is the, so to determine how much ITC is available to set off, you have to first work out two things. One is the liability under the three heads. Second is the total ITC available. Total ITC available means the opening balance plus what all ITC is available during the year. So first we will write particulars Make a 3 columns, mention CGST, SGST, IGST, then just mention, take the figures from the question itself against the opening balance, present the figures against the respective head, add the ITC for the text purchases. Now, how this ITC has been worked out? 1,17,000, 1,17,000 and 20,000, 27,000 figures. ITC will be available on what? Outward supply or inward supply? Correct, Varun. So, there is an intrastate purchase and interstate purchases. CGST, SGST will be applicable in case of which type of sales? Intra-sales. So what is the figure of intra-sales? It is 13 lakhs. Correct? Yes, inward takes 13 lakhs. On 13 lakhs, what rate is applicable? 13 lakhs, what rate is applicable? Is 9% for CGST and 9% for SGST. If we calculate 9%, yes, please compute. Use calculators, work out, yes. So now Varun, 1,17,000 is 9% of 13 lakh. The same figure is presented against CGST. So this is a very simple example where only single transaction is given. Similarly, when there are voluminous good number of transactions, we simply in the same manner we just work out CGST, SGST or IGST and just add it to the opening balance to work out what is the total ITC available at the end of the month, since the return period under GST is the monthly. Similarly, we will just work out the ITC available under IGST. There is an interstate purchase of 1,50,000. So what is the rate of IGST? It is 18%. Now 18% of 1,50,000. Yes. Now 18% of 1,50,000. How much it comes? Calculate it. Correct. So this is the same figure you can see under the IGST column. Thank you all for confirming. Under the same IGST column, see add ITC for the tax period. Make a total of these two figures. You will get what is the total ITC available. Now, one figure you have derived. Another is the outward liability. This Mr. X or X Limited is liable to pay. Now outward liability, how it is worked out? It is calculated on outward supply. Correct? Again, there is an intra-state and interstate. Intrastate, similarly as we did for ITC on purchases, we will compute the outward liability on the outward supplies. If we just work out what is the output tax, can quickly someone compute like how you arrive the figures? There is a total outward supply intrastate is 18 lakhs. So what is the liability under CGST, SGST at the rate of 9%? That means 9% of 18 lakhs. Yes. Quickly do it on IGST. IGST is 13 lakhs. 18% of 13 lakhs. Yes. Yes. Now see everyone. The numbers are there in the chat box. As you computed, the same is written over here. What is the output tax under CGST, SGST and IGST? Hope it is clear to all. Yes. Great. So now you are having both the numbers. What is the outward liability? Thanks Rajesh for confirming. And you have the number. What is the ITC available to be set it off? Now we have to apply the rules. In few of the segment you will see there is excess ITC available. Under IGST you will see that still IGST liability is remaining after setting off the complete IGST. Now ITC is allowed against CGST. The liability is 1,62,000, but ITC available under CGST is 2,47,000. Similarly is the case of SGST, because always CGST and SGST is allocated as 50-50 ratio. So always the figure of CGST and SGST will remain the same. IGST, you will see the total ITC is 1,97,000 against the liability of 2,34,000. So rule says the input ITC available under IGST is to be first utilized in all the three segments. So first we will utilize ITC of IGST to pay the liability against IGST. Liability in this case is higher than the ITC available. So we landed up with further liability under IGST of 37,000. Now we will see the situation under CGST and SGST. There is an excess ITC available in both the cases. The excess ITC amount is 85,000, 85,000. Now the IGST liability will be paid or can be set it off by ITC available under CGST. Normally, we give preference to, although it is not there, it is up to assessee's option. Normally, we set off against the CGST because both are related to the central government account. So, we settle the account of the central government. So, 85,000 was the available ITC under CGST. Liability payable was 37,000 under IGST. 85,000 minus 37,000. So what is the final ITC available to be consumed in the coming months? It is excess ITC is CGST 48,000, excess SGST ITC is 85,000. So now in the next month, you'll just carry forward this again to what all ITC available on the purchases made during that month. You will compute out the liability on all the outward supplies made during that month. Again, apply the setting of rule, and you can conclude what is, if all the ITC is set it off against the liability, or still after setting off the liability, still setting off the ITC against the outward liability. If any liability remains, then that is payable by the cash. Suppose in the given example there was no question, there would not have been any intrastate purchase or sales. It was only IGST. Then what would have happened? It was only ITC against IGST is set it off against the outward liability, and 37,000 of liability was still remaining, but we were not having any input available under CGST, SGST. So this 37,000 in that scenario will be paid through cash through the GST portal by X Limited. This is how the liability is computed. Dear students, example number 1. Okay, thank you. Now example number 2. They have given outward liability in the question. They have given a penalty that there is an interest payable. Interest is only payable in the situation when the tax has not been paid within the due date, or the returns are not filed within the due date. Then the registered dealer is liable to pay interest termed as penalty. How it is computed? Again, it is defined under the law. There was an outward tax liability of 1 lakh towards CGST and SGST or UTGST, and 20,000 towards IGST. Also interest payable at 1800. Explain the manner of discharge of tax liability by Mr. A in the following two independent cases. Now they have given two situations how the ITC can be utilized. What is the ITC amount available? Okay. Okay. In this question, they have just given when the ITC is available or when there is no ITC. In both scenarios, what is the outward liability that Mr. A is required to pay to the government? So if we just go to the answers, just see the table. Hope you must be having an idea like how we can set off and make the payments. So in the given question, it was stated 1 lakh of output tax payable under CGST and SGST oblique UTGST. So question must have raised in your mind how much to allocate to CGST and how much to SGST or UTGST. See, it is always 50-50. Either there will be SGST or UTGST. Okay. So in this answer, they have just taken SGST, or you would have written SGST or oblique UTGST because you don't know whether it was a transaction happened within a union territory or within a state. So that would have also been correct. So always this principle that 50% belongs to CGST and 50% belongs to state. So you break 1 lakh into two figures, divide by 2. 50% under central, 50% under state. This is how you just work out. Yes, Siley. And 20,000 is given in the question itself that IGST is 20, liability is 20,000. And there is an interest penalty of 1800. So if a question similarly comes like this, you have to quickly make 4 columns, just present the numbers and keep on putting the numbers in the table, you automatically derive your answer. Just keep on applying the rule, see how we can utilize the set of the ITC and you will derive the answer. So electronic credit ledger is carrying the details of the input tax credit available. What it is stated in the case number 1, that 25,000 CGST, each word is there, so 25,000 SGST and 25,000 under CGST, and IGST you are having 25,000. We have just placed the information in the 3 columns. Now see the effect. See, liability interest we cannot pay through ICC. It has to be paid in cash only. This is clear cut. As soon as we place the ITC amount, we come to the result. So what is the net liability under central? Still there is a liability of 25,000. Under state there is again a liability of 20,000. No, sorry, 25,000. But under IGST integrated, you are left with unutilized ITC of 5,000. Clear? Clear, students? Till now? Okay. Now, so in the first scenario, 25,000 is further liability to be payable and you are having 5,000 excess of integrated. 5,000 available to set off, we again first set it off it against the liability under CGST. So we just placed 5,000 of IGST under CGST column. Now the liability reduced from 25 to 20,000 and the liability under state SGST remained the same because there is no more amount left to set off. So now what is the final? Final is CGST liability payable is 20, SGST 25,000. IGST is completely settled off to ITC and interest is 1,800. So these 3 figures, that is total of 46,800 will be paid by cash by Mr. Paid in cash by Mr. Hope it is clear. Okay. Now case number 2, that is when no ITC available in the books. This Mr. A has only made the outward supplies, there is no available, or must have made but not left over. So simply what you do, whatever is the liability, when there is no ITC available, you will pay all the liability by way of cash. Clear? The case 2 also. The only thing is that you have to make the clear depiction. Simple writing in a statement will not make the things clear. So you have to make this table in the exam if it comes. Otherwise, you have clearly stated since no input text available, what all liability is there, it is paid by cash. If you make a table, it will give a clear depiction. Now, they have given an example where you will see how the order of utilization is being followed. Okay, every illustration is trying to explain a certain sort of scenario. If in question all a question comes which is covering all such sort of scenarios, you have to act accordingly and come to the answer. So in example 3, While Limited is operating in two states, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. The state takes liability for the month of August 2020, you can consider, or 2019-18 any year, is as follows. There are certain output liability, there is input details given in the question with respect to two states, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Now they are asking what is the tax payable for the month of August 2020 by Limited. So tell me one question. Is the ITC available in Andhra Pradesh be utilized to set off liability under Tamil Nadu? Yes, because under GST there is statewide registration. You have to file statewide returns. So interstate there is no adjustment allowed under law. So in this example, one note you are taking is no interstate adjustments of ITC. Okay, so you have to do it separately. What all output liability for Andhra Pradesh, ITC, set off the ITC against those output liability and compute the liability payable in cash. So first we will just see for Andhra Pradesh output taxes. Just mention the name of three type of taxes, CGST, make a table, just write the name of the state, make three columns, just mention the name of the tax and just place the figures given in the question. Clear till now? This is how you have to just keep on applying your mind and start attempting the question. Output tax is placed. What is the ITC available in case of, okay, now first is ITC available under IGST. So in the rule what we have studied, what all input available under IGST, integrated ITC, should be first set it off across all the type of excess. First preference is given to the IGST liability only. So against a liability of 3,000, we have placed 3,000 of ITC. 3,000 of ITC available under IGST. Then you are seeing that ITC available under integrated ITC is 12,000. 3,000 we set it off against IGST and remaining 9,000 you set off against CGST. As why you chose to set off 9,000? Because you are seeing that there is a total liability of 25,000. So you took the entire balance of integrated ITC to the CGST column. So now ITC, integrated ITC is completely utilized. We work out the balances. Now balances of liability available. It is under central it is 16,000. Agar SGST it is 10,000. Now what you will do? What is the input available under central? It is 8,000. What is the input available under SGST? It is 15,000. Now place these two figures because cross is not allowed under the law. CGST ITC cannot be set off against the liability of SGST, vice versa. So simply put the number of input CGST against liability of CGST and input of SGST against the liability of SGST. What you get? You get that still there is a liability under CGST, whereas there is an input ITC still unutilized available with the HGST. So now these two cannot be settled off. So what we will do? We will pay 8,000 in cash and carry forward 5,000 of ITC available under HGST for the next return period. Hope it is clear. Any doubt? Please come up with any doubt if there is any. Hope it is clear for once and on all. We need not have to refer again and again. Very clear depiction, very clear examples given in the note. Similarly, if we now see the state of Tamil Nadu, the liability output liability is given 10,000, 5,000, and 2,500. Now, what is the, because first we have to consume the input available under IGST. So first we will take that figure of 16,000 and place whatever outward liability under GST. It is 2,500 only. So out of 16, first we record an entry of 2,500. Then we see that the CGST liability is on higher side as compared to the SGST. So what we do, we thought that yes, SGST can be completely set it off 5,000 against this IGST. So we placed 5,000 over here, and whatever is the balance remain 8,500 is placed under the CGST. So similarly in the question you have to see, okay, find SGST by setting off through IGST. If SGST is getting exhausted completely, do it. Place the balance under the CGST column. Now from this you come to know what is the balance liability or ITC available. Liability under CGST is 1,500, whereas there is no liability or ITC available under SGST or this. No, sorry, ITC is available. There is no liability under IGST or SGST. Now, what is the input available available against CGST? That is 13,000 and SGST is 1,500. We simply place this information against ITC, less ITC on CGST and SGST. You will see that there is a input available under the CGST 11,500 and SGST 1,500. So in this scenario, under Tamil Nadu, no liability is paid in cash, as no liability is left over. Entire liability is settled off by utilizing the ITC, and still after utilizing, there is certain ITC left over, which is carried forward to the next return period, and this CGST will be utilized against IGST or CGST, and SGST will be utilized against IGST or SGST. Hope it's clear. $9,000 of IGST set off by CGST. 9,000 of, it can be like this also. It can be like this also. There is no problem in that also. We have to just follow the rules. So if we would have applied this, so 1,000, 4,000, 1,000 would have left over, and 1,000 would have been set it off using this SGST ITC, and 500 would have been left in input credit carried forward to the next taxable period. Okay. Okay. So subsection 9. They are simply conveying that whatever is the leftover or the balance in the electronic cash ledger or credit ledger after making payment of tax, interest, fee, or any other amount payable under this act or the rules made thereunder may be refunded in accordance with the provisions of the section 54. That means they are simply talking like if you are into the winding up stage, or if you want to revoke or cancel your registration, so what all balances are still lying in the credit ledger, um, so that can be refund can be taken from the government. So once you wind up or cancel this thing, the account gets settled with the GST department, as defined as per the provisions given under section 54. Hope this section is clear. Since they are talking about once it is wind up, what are seeing the position of the ledgers. If there is a liability, liability is paid or if there is any refund is coming out, seeing the ledger status, refund is being made by the government. Now, subsection 7 of 49 states that all liabilities of a taxable person under this act shall be recorded and maintained in an electronic liability ledger register in such manner as may be prescribed. Yes, how they are maintaining the liability in electronic liability register, like books or accounts are being maintained. Whenever there is an outward supply, the entry is entered into that, and this is how we are just maintaining the entry. Subsection 8 of section 49, every, and yes, of course, we are filing that GSTR1 outward supply return. So we are making record of that, and what all liability arises, that is being credited or reflected into the this liability ledger. That is reflected into the electronic liability ledger under the GST code. Now, every taxable person shall discharge his tax and other dues under this Act or the rules made thereunder in the following order, namely. Now, they are saying that if there is any refund is available, how it can be utilized or if any dues are there. So, first of all, the previous year dues, if there is any, that can be settled off against if there is any ITC available with the person. Then, after setting off the liability of previous year, if anything is left over, then the current tax period, whatever is the self outward liability made through self assessment related to the current tax period, that is being settled off, and then thereafter, if there is any demand raised by the department under section 73, 74, then that ITC is being utilized against that demand, the leftover. Hope this is clear. Now, for the purpose of this section, they have just given the definition of the few of the word tax dues and other dues. Other dues will always mean the amount of penalty, interest, or any demand raised by, because any other amount they have just given. And tax dues means it is related to your tax payable under the CGST Act and will not include interest, fee, or penalty in any case. So whenever there is any case study and they are writing the word tax dues, it means they are only talking about the liability and not about the interest, fees, or penalty. Yeah. So now moving on to the example number 4. Fine. So in example 4, they have just given the tax liabilities, means what all rule we have just studied, that how it has been utilized, like the previous year tax, then the current year, then any sort of penalty or demand if any raised by the government under section 73 and 74. That is why in this example 4 you are seeing that there are entries of the monthly entries, and they have just given that demand has been raised under section 73 or 74 under the act. So how it has been utilized, you'll see in this example. Going through the question, X Limited has following tax liabilities under the provisions of the Act. The tax liability of CGST, SGST, UGST, IGST has supplies made during August 2017 is 1 lakh. So, students, please go through this question. Please go through this question. So have you gone through the question? Now we will just see how the liabilities has been settled off against what. So we were at the beginning of this period, beginning of this August month, we were having electronic cash ledger of 5 lakh. Okay. Can we proceed with the solution? Understanding is clear? No, what it is doing. So there was an opening in the cash ledger of 5 lakhs. Tax liability under various three heads in the month of August was 1 lakh, but this penalty was paid late, and hence there is an interest and penalty of 20,000. Similarly, in the month of September, there is a tax liability of 1 lakh 20,000. Again, the amount has been deposited or the return has been filed late. There is a penalty of 20,000. There is a demand under Section 73 and 74 of the CGST Act that belongs to July 2017, that is 8 lakh, and so there is some demand raised as per the old provision under the indirect tax. So the available balance with you is 1 lakh, 5 lakh. First is you are going to utilize for the month of August, that is 1 lakh. You will pay the liability. You will pay for the month of September. Then the demand raised is 2 lakh 15,000. The balance available in the credit ledger, cash credit ledger is nil. Now, the balance amount of 5,60,000 towards the demand raised under Section 73, because the balance left over is 2,40,000 only, but the demand raised was 8 lakh. So the balance amount of 5,60,000 towards demand raised under this to be discharged before discharging the liability of demand rose under old provision of indirect tax. Hello students, 2 lakh 40 is the leftover. See, there is a balance of 5 lakh, Harshita. There is a balance of 5 lakh minus 1 lakh from that. You left over with 4 lakh, then 3 lakh 80,000, then again 1 lakh 20,000 and 20,000. That means the total amount deducted is 2 lakh 60,000 out of 5 lakh. So the balance available is 2 lakh 40,000. So you will set off 2 lakh 40,000 against the demand raised. So this is how it has been set it off, and any under the old provisions, that means under the any liability is there under the old regime, that is to be set it off once any demand has been raised under this CGST Act will be set it off first, and then if there is any demand that because of some old provisions of the indirect tax, that will be set it off later. Clear with this example? See, again they are telling, again they are saying is against this, as we have studied above also, that 49 and 49A read together. This is further elaborating the same things only. That 49A, that notwithstanding anything contained in section 49, the input tax credit on account of central tax rate and union territory rate shall be utilized towards payment of integrated tax, central tax, state tax, and union territory tax, as the case may be, only after the input tax credit available on account of ITC has been first utilized fully towards such payments, as we have just seen in the above examples. First, we utilized completely the ITC available under IGST. Similarly, in 14B also, notwithstanding anything contained in the chapter and subject to the provisions of clause E or clause F of subsection 5 of section 49, the government may, on the recommendation of the council, prescribe the order and manner of utilization of the input tax credit on account of integrated tax, central tax, state tax, and union law, as the case may be, towards payment of any of these tax. See, initially, when the GST is implemented on 1st July 2017, a certain set of rules has been given by under the law, but later certain amendments has been made. So 49B is empowering the GST Council that still they are authorized to make any changes in the rules of utilization of ITC, and from time to time, and as and when whatever changes are being made, ITC during that period should be utilized accordingly. This is what your 49B is stating. None. So there are certain amendments made as per Finance Act 2019 that are applicable from 1st August 2019. Okay. Sorry. So subsection 10 of section 49 of the CGST Act 2019 states that a registered person may, on the common portal, transfer any amount of tax, interest, penalty, fee, or any other amount available in the electronic cash ledger under this act to the electronic cash ledger for integrated tax, central tax, state tax, or union territory tax, or cess in such form and manner and subject to such condition and restrictions as may be prescribed, and such transfer shall be deemed to be a refund from the electronic cash ledger under this act. That means, as we can utilize under the various heads, so on the portal itself, because unless and until the ITC is not available to be utilized, so in the electronic portal, when we are dealing on the GST portal, some transfers are allowed. If ITC available under IGST, then, and you have to set off the liability under CGST, the amount available of ITC under IGST, we have to transfer to the CGST to make it set off. Because if no balance is available, how can you set off the liability against that? So that is allowed with amendment with effect from 1st August 2019. Now, what subsection 11 of section 49 states is, where any amount has been transferred to the electronic cash ledger under this act, the same shall be deemed to be deposited in the said ledger as provided in subsection 1. Once we have transferred, it will be presumed to be deemed to be like deposited in the said ledger only. We cannot later on change key. We cannot later on change key. Okay, we have transferred from IGST to CGST, and later we want to change it to SGST. Then it will not be allowed. It will be presumed with the CGST only. So there is one example explaining these rules only. Just go through the example. Meanwhile, I'll just have some water. No. Yes, can we just go through the question? So, in the as of 28th February, certain amounts are given on the GST. Okay, fine. Please carry on, Harshita. Please let me know. Okay. So there are certain balances uh, in the books of Miss Nitya. The following balances are available in the electronic cash ledger as on 28th February of the GST portal. That is the heads given is the head matters is the tax, interest, penalty. Again under SGST there is a liability of tax, interest and penalty and there is a fee of 2000. IGST there is a tax, interest and penalty is nil. So now her tax liability for the month of February. These are the balances available and the liability for the month of February is 75,000 each for CGST and SGST. She failed to pay the tax and contacted you as a legal advisor on 12th 4 2018 to advise her as to how much amount of tax or interest she is required to pay, if any, by utilizing the available balance to make maximum extent possible as per GST law. She wants to pay the tax on 24 2020 because every registered dealer is required to pay the deposit the tax liability by 20th of the subsequent month. But in this case, the liability is related to which month? Liability is related to which month? It is for the month of February? Yes, it is for the month of February. The same has not been paid in the month of March, but on 12th April, Nitya just realized that she has failed to pay the tax. She contacted you as advisor and she want to pay it by 20th. So what is the liability she is liable to pay and what is the penalties she is liable to pay if she is making the payment on 20th, the tax related to for the month of February. The other information given is date of collection of GST was 18th February 2020, means the tax was collected. Because why these dates are given, what is the significance? For the purpose of the computation, the number of days by which the liability, the tax got delayed, that the tax has not been deposited from the due date till the date it has been actually paid. Hope you must have gone through these clauses in the earlier part of the chapter. Interest or penalty clauses, like interest is computed from the due date till actually it has been paid, the tax liability. So that is why the date of collection of the GST was 18th February 2020. No other transaction after this, up to 20th April has been made. Ignore penalty for this transaction. No other balance is available. You are required to advise her with reference to legal provisions with brief note and the legal provisions applicable. So, what was the liability? The liability for the month of 75,000 for the under CGST SGST. Now, how this interest has been computed? Definitely, when you are paying they were supposed to pay it by March 20th only, but now she is ready to pay by 20th April. So liability, how many days are there? How many days are there? So 75,000. The rate of penalty, the rate of interest that is chargeable is 18%. If the tax liability is not paid by uh, due date, then it is 31 days. So 31 days divided by 365. Penalty is worked out for every day. So first we work out the number of days from the due date and when it is paid, divide by 365. So this is how you get 1147. So we have delayed the payment of tax for CGST also as well as SGST also. Yes. No. By mistake means 10 February to 40 March. No, they are due to make the payment as on 20th March. What all transactions, the tax of February month outward liability is liable to be paid by 20th. You must have studied the dates for depositing the tax under GST. Have you gone through those dates? See, in monthly, yes, 20th March to 20th April. Correct. Correct, Varun. So, Harshita, the number of days are computed from 20th March to the 20th April. That is coming 31 days, and since both are delayed, so 1147 is the liability under CGST and SGST as well on account of interest. Since there is no outward liability towards IGST, so there is no liability or there is no interest penalty. Now they are saying ki what all balances were available in the opening cash ledger. So what your cash ledger was saying, how much amount was available? They said that CGST 40,000 was available, SGST tax is available 80,000. So what you have done? The liability is 75. You set it off the balance available under the cash ledger 40, 80. Similarly, you have used the balances available for the interest under SGST. Just seeing once again what is the balance available under this. It is CGST 1000, SGST 400. We have simply first the liability is setted off against the balances available in the cash ledger. Then if there is any leftover, that is being met or paid through the cash ledgers. Now they said there is a further liability of 35,000. So there is no further available since CGST, SGST cannot be settled off with each other. So what they have just written is less transfer from e-cash ledger of IGST major head. So what they have done is IGST can be utilized to set off the liability under CGST or SGST. So the tax available is 45,000. So they have set it off 35,000 against the available balance of IGST. And yes, the available balances under IGST of 147, they have just given that there is a balance of 200. 200 is the balance over here and 400 ye utilize ho gaya. Then 747 from where they got 147 को समझ में आ जाए 147 1000 यूटिलाइज हो गया इंटरेस्ट 400 यूटिलाइज हो गया there is a penalty fee oh okay so they have utilized entirely from the uh, balance available against the ITC. Against the ITC. But ITC cannot be set it off against this penalty interest, and there is only 200. So we can just say that against 200, the interest, the leftover interest of 147 can be utilized, and 747, what they have just given in the notes. Minor heads refer to the interest, penalty, fee, and others. Section 49 intends permits that if amount from one major minor head is intended to be transferred to another major minor heads for transfer of amount may be same or different. Okay, so what it can be understood is that this amount minor heads, the 747 can be used from the ITC, IGST. It can be used it can be used from here itself only. That is, the minor heads include your interest, penalty, and fees. So if there is any credit available in the cash ledger, this 747 is can be utilized from the HGST, since no balance is available under IGST. Yes, it is transferred from eCash only. Since the balances are lying over there, the transfers are being made, and so it has the transfers are being made from the eCash ledgers of IGST to CGST and to interest component of the CGST and interest component of the SGST. See, in the notes it is written, first is the fifth note, amounts can only be transferred when the balance is available in the other heads, otherwise you cannot transfer. Now the point number 4 is the amount from one minor head can also be transferred to another minor head under the same major head. Okay, same major head means the CGST or IGST, means cross CGST, SGST cannot be utilized, but IGST can be transferred. And subsection 10 of section 49, they just permit that if amount from one major minor head is intended to be transferred to another major, then minor head for transfer of amount may be same or different. Means there is no that the amount can be transferred to the same minor account or to the same from major to major account. It can be transferred from major to minor account also, or from the different minor account to the different minor account. That is allowed under the act. Hope it is clear. Okay, so interest and delayed, like as we have just computed the interest, so if this provisions they are again explaining the interest and delayed payment of the taxes. So students, can we just continue with this topic, and the other two topics we can cover in the next class, because we will not able to go through and complete this and understand with the complete example within this 15 minutes left over for the meeting. So can we quickly study in the next class? Okay, okay. So I just request you, I have just gone through, there are mock exams at the end of this study note. There are 3 or 4 exams are given at the end of this study notes. I request you, what all notes we have studied, just go through the questions given at the back of the notes. There are 3 mock tests. Just go through the relevant questions. Okay, and just see, without seeing the answer or anything, are you in position to attempt or understand the question? If there are any doubts, just let me know. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Varun, Harshita, Smiling. Thank you so much. So, as of now, I'm just ending this meeting. Okay? Take care, have good time, and we will connect on Friday, correct? Yes. Today is, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.